Tonight is a very special night where we celebrate our alums, and this year we have so much to celebrate. First, we have had an absolutely wonderful year rolling out our new alumni association, the Mustang Bar Law Alumni Association. The Mustang Bar allows us to engage and educate and connect our strong alumni base like never before through networking opportunities like happy hours and reunions, educational programming like cutting-edge CLEs, and chances to connect with students on campus through mentoring our students or judging moot court or mock trial. As part of our new ongoing efforts to reach alumni wherever they are, we are on the road. We have rolled out the Mustang Bar in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Midland, New York, Washington, D.C., just to name a few. In just a few weeks, we'll be heading back to Houston, to Austin, again to Fort Worth, and we will be hosting a basketball watching party right here in Dallas. So I hope you will join us for some of these events. And other terrific news from this past year, we introduced to you at this event last year our brand new Flash mentoring program called the Mustang Exchange, which enables our students to meet with multiple mentors, both alumni and friends throughout the community, throughout the year for one-on-one conversations. We launched the Mustang Exchange this past fall, and I will confess we were a little bit worried starting out about how many alumni we would get to sign up to spend an hour or two of their time with a student. We learned right away that this program was going to be a powerful tool, both to help our students make the connections they need to be successful in this challenging market, and to allow our alumni to re-engage with the law school. I am so proud to announce that we are now 200 alumni mentors strong. And if you haven't signed up, we still have room for you. We are not aware of any other law school in the country that's doing this kind of flash mentoring program, which really enables alumni to get involved with a quite minimal time commitment. So if you are not yet a Mustang Exchange mentor, please consider leaving your business card on your table. You don't have to be alum of SMU. My husband was the first person to sign up to be a mentor. You have so much to give our students in terms of your time and wisdom and experience. And if you would consider being part of this program, we will make it as easy for you as we can. So leave your business card on the table, and we will be in touch with you. It's a chance to make such a difference in the lives of our students. Thank you for everything you do to make SMU one of the very top law schools in the country. Now we're turning to the most important part of the evening, the chance to recognize 5 extraordinary trailblazers who have demonstrated remarkable success in the profession, selfless service to the community, and generous contributions in terms of their time and energy to the SMU Dedman School of Law. I could not be more proud or humbled to know that these 5 individuals are alumni of the SMU Dedman School of Law. Our first distinguished alumni recipient is the extraordinary Sean Brown.
Tested trial lawyer and revered community leader, Sean Brown has become a star in the Dallas legal community. Sean grew up in a loving family with strong women who instilled in her a deep commitment to education and service to the community. After graduating from Lake Highlands High School, Sean earned a Bachelor of Science degree from SMU, where she served in numerous leadership roles and earned the M Award, the most highly prized recognition bestowed upon SMU students, faculty, and staff. In 1995, Sean entered SMU Law School, where she was a devoted student leader. She was elected secretary of the Student Bar Association, served on the Board of Advocates, and was selected to serve in the Order of the Barristers. Sean graduated in 1998, and from law school to big law. She started her impressive career in the litigation section of Locke, Cornell, Rain, Harrell, now Locke Lord, where she was named a partner in 7 years. Now, Sean is a partner with Gruber Hurst, Elrod, Johansson, Hale, and Shank, where she has made headlines for her notable jury verdicts on both the plaintiff and defense sides. Sean obtained one of the largest verdicts against a public school system for violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Sean was recognized by Verdict Search for obtaining one of the top verdicts of 2014, where she represented Hunt Consolidated in a fraud action against a Fortune 100 company. And Sean successfully defended against a hedge fund subsidiary in a $19 billion contract dispute. Sean's reputation as a fierce advocate has earned her recognition from the Texas Lawyer as one of 20 extraordinary minorities in the state of Texas, a Texas Monthly Super Lawyer recognition, and one of the best lawyers in Dallas by D Magazine. Savoy Magazine recently named Sean a 2015 top black lawyer, and the Black alumni of SMU named her a history maker. Sean has taken a leadership role in many community organizations, serving as an executive committee member of the Dallas Museum of Art, a member of the Board of Trustees for the Lamplighter School, and a member of the Board of Directors for the Dallas Women's Foundation. She also serves the law school as a community fellow and as a mentor in the Mustang Exchange Flash Mentorship Program. Sean has been inspired professionally and personally by trailblazing lawyers and professors, including SMU Law distinguished alums Harriet Myers and Liz Cedillo Pereira, respected lawyers Michael Hurst, Jerry Clements, and Julia Simon, and SMU Law professors Beth Thornburg, Ruth Cross, Fred Moss, and Tim Davis. With all she has accomplished, Sean is most proud of her family, her husband Clarence, and their 3 children, Evan, Ryan, and Lily. SMU Dedman School of Law is pleased to recognize Sean Brown with the 2016 Distinguished Alumni Emerging Leader Award.
There are 2 people that I have not talked about tonight, and they are not physically with us, but I feel their presence spiritually, and those are my grandparents. And as you know, I was raised by my grandparents, and they both gave me quite a bit of good advice. Tonight, I would like to mention 2 of those things. My grandmother, on my way to college, told me something, and she said, failure is coming, and how you deal with it will shape who you are. I thought that was kind of daunting for a beginning freshman. I thought it would be something uplifting. But she was very right. And so on this journey, those verdicts that you see, there's a lot of losses too. You know, in trial lawyers, we don't really talk about those. But the way we deal with those, not just in the courtroom, but also in life and other professional aspects, really shapes who we are. My grandfather, who, if he were here tonight, first of all, he would really need no introduction because he would know every person in this room by name, and he would have attributed to me every superhuman activity or power that could have been done, and I would just go along with it because that's just who he was. But he told me when I started SMU as an undergraduate to not throw bricks at the institution to break it down, but to get inside of the institution, sit at the chair with the decision makers and break it down from the inside, brick by brick. And I will tell you that that follows me in every strategic decision I make professionally and personally. So I'm proud to be an emerging leader. I'm proud to be coming into view, and what I take as my goal is to make sure that other folks like me, a little girl from the city of Dallas who had no idea what practicing law meant, will be able to one day also have such honor and respect that I have for not only this university, but all of you here this evening. Thank you.
Jim Baldwin, Dr. Pepper Snapple Group's Executive Vice President and General Counsel, has earned a reputation as a strategic partner, a tough negotiator, and a producer of measured results. Jim has led a legal team in the negotiation of multiple licensing agreements with Coca-Cola and PepsiCo, which resulted in $1.6 billion of revenue for Dr. Pepper Snapple. He recently resolved 4 major class action suits for the company. Baldwin led Dr. Pepper Snapple's multi-billion-dollar spinoff from Cadbury Schweppes to a publicly traded Fortune 500 company. Jim Baldwin was born in Dallas, the son of Dr. and Mrs. James Lee Baldwin, and graduated from St. Mark's before earning his bachelor's degree from Washington and Lee University. In 1983, he returned to Dallas to enter SMU Dedman School of Law, a decision influenced by his father, who earned his SMU undergraduate degree in the 1940s, and his sister, Janet Baldwin McCulloch, a 1982 law graduate. Baldwin graduated from SMU in 1986, and he joined the firm of Berman, Mitchell, Yeager, and Gerber. Soon after that, Jim became a partner in the Dallas office of Houston-based Hutchison and Grundy. In 1997, Baldwin went in-house with a firm client, Dr. Pepper 7-Up Incorporated, which at the time was a subsidiary of Cadbury Schweppes in London. He joined the company as Assistant General Counsel and was quickly promoted to General Counsel of Mott's Incorporated in Stamford, Connecticut, a sister company producing products such as Mott's Applesauce and Mr. and Mrs. T mixers. Jim returned to Dallas in 2002 as General Counsel of Dr. Pepper 7-Up, which was spun off from Cadbury Schweppes as Dr. Pepper Snapple Group in 2008. Today, the Dr. Pepper Snapple Group produces a wide range of products, including more than 50 brands, ranging from 7-Up to Snapple, from A&W to RC, and from Deja Blue to Yoo-Hoo. Jim serves as a board member for and is the past president of the Dallas chapter of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. He also serves SMU Law as an executive board member and as a community fellow in the Inns of Court program. Law school not only gave Jim a strong foundation in corporate law, it also gave him the opportunity to meet the love of his life, Susan, who was also a law student. The couple married in 1989 and have 2 daughters, Sarah and Marie. SMU Dedman School of Law is pleased to recognize Jim Baldwin with the 2016 Distinguished Alumni Award for Corporate Service.
The second way in which SMU affected my life is through my friends. And the class of '86 is the best class ever to graduate from SMU Law School, right? Woo! So we go to happy hours together, we go to lunch, basketball games, we even had lunch with Dean Collins, or dinner. I didn't make that one, but so we really have had a great time, and we still have strong ties with SMU. And I think I speak for all of us when we say we're very grateful to SMU Law School for the career opportunities that it's afforded us. So on to the quick story. So second year, Greg Ackles and I, Greg, were taking the appellate clinic where you learn how to file briefs and appeal criminal cases. And Professor Moss, who is here tonight, was our mentor. So we got the case, our first case, and it was an appeal of a murder conviction. And so Greg and I had the duty of trying to go through the file and figure out, how can we overturn this conviction. And we, the alibi was because the guy had shot another man and had gone back to his apartment, and the police arrested him there. And his alibi was that he was home taking a nap. Well, when the police caught up with him and arrested him, he was napping, but he was in between the mattress and the box springs. So we lost that appeal. And Greg and I no longer practice criminal law. But we made great friends in law school with professors, Professor Bridge. I will never forget your first year criminal law class. A lot of stories there, but just very memorable. I would like to thank SMU Law School for the wonderful opportunities and the blessings to my family. First of all, thank you for our family blessings for my beautiful wife. Thank you also for the wonderful friendships that we have made over the years, and thank you for the wonderful career opportunities that my classmates and I have enjoyed as a result of having attended. Thank you so much.
Trailblazer, advocate, and community leader, CeCe Cox has been at the forefront of the LGBT cause for nearly 30 years. Since 2007, she has served the community through her work at Resource Center, one of the largest LGBT community centers in the U.S., which provides health services and programs to more than 60,000 people. Serving as CEO of Resource Center, CeCe manages over 50 employees and 1,100 volunteers to provide dental care, a nutrition center and food pantry, medical support services, and programs for the LGBT community. As a community activist, Cox has been instrumental in the passage of landmark policies, including the City of Dallas non-discrimination policy affecting 50,000 public sector employees, and the Dallas Independent School District's first anti-harassment and anti-bullying policy, protecting 250,000 students in the area. For CeCe's devoted service, SMU recognized her with the Profiles in Leadership Award. The LGBT law section of the State Bar of Texas gave her the Judge Norman Black Award. The Dallas Voice named her the best local LGBT role model. And the Black Tie Dinner honored CeCe with the prestigious Kukling Humanitarian Award. Cox serves SMU on the executive board of the Simmons School of Education and Human Development. She is also a member of the board of directors for Centerlink and the Dallas Women's Foundation. CeCe earned her Bachelor of Science degree in journalism with a certificate in women's studies from Northwestern University and her law degree from SMU in 2004, where she was a member of the Order of the Barristers. After graduation, CeCe joined the Dallas law firm of Coles & Thompson before she became Associate Director of Resource Center in 2007. CeCe credits her studies at SMU Law with strengthening her belief in the hope, inspiration, and the true freedoms set forth for everyone in the U.S. Constitution. She was inspired by professors such as Beth Thornburg and Bill Bridge for their integrity and humor, and for giving her wise counsel and guidance during her time in law school. SMU law students and faculty have proven to be lifelong friends and a source of support for CeCe throughout her career. CeCe is the daughter of Veronica and Glenn Cox, has two brothers, Martin and Grant, and is the proud parent of teenage son Mateo Means. SMU Dedman School of Law is proud to recognize CeCe Cox with the 2016 Distinguished Alumni Award for Public Service.
A couple of weeks ago, I had the privilege of being with some other leaders in the LGBT movement, and in a particular discussion with Kate Kendall, who's the executive director of the National Center for Lesbian Rights, and who has been instrumental in both the strategy and the litigation around marriage equality. And before we launched into our all-day discussion about issues before the LGBT movement, Kate asked us to pause for a moment and think and feel. Specifically, she said, what a privilege it is to be witness to our own liberation. And we felt the impact of those words, but also knew at the same time that our movement has so much more to do. And it truly is a privilege, and it has been a privilege to do the work I've done on behalf of the community. But we also know we're not done. There's so many more things. And even today, I did a media interview because there is a justice of the peace in Mesquite who says he is going to refuse any same-sex couples who show up and want to get marriage licenses, which last time I knew was the law of the land. There's not really a choice about it, but it's the landscape in which we live in. And in the work that I do, the personal is political, and the political is personal. to borrow a phrase from the women's movement. I was 27 years old, to get personal for a second, when I came out to my family. And it was the hardest thing I ever did because of my own fear. But their response was unequivocal love. And that has been a blessing I've carried with me since that time. And I realized before then that I had a voice, but that power combined with the love of my family I realized I had a responsibility to use that voice. And that's what I've tried to do for the subsequent 27 years. Mateo, when you decided to hang out with your mom on a Friday night instead of your buddies on June 26, 2015, the night that the community celebrated the Obergefell decision on marriage equality, that was my best moment in my best day ever. And again, the personal is political and the political is personal. And for my two worlds to come together was the most magnificent thing. So with that foundation of love that I have and the love and support in this room from many of you and others who can't be here tonight, but I carry with me, I'm fueled for the next 27 years. JP, bring it on, or anybody else. I'm ready to go. So thank you for allowing me to share this night with you as well as the entire journey. Thank you.
A preeminent Dallas attorney, Wendell Turley is one of the foremost experts in tort litigation. For more than 50 years, Turley has practiced law with exceptional innovation and compassion for his clients, training some of the best trial lawyers in North Texas, while building one of the largest personal injury law firms in the nation. Recognized as one of Texas' all-time tough guys in 2004, Turley has never shied away from a challenge. His grit has resulted in record-breaking jury verdicts in some of the most difficult and highly publicized cases in the U.S. Turley established his law firm in 1973 and began to challenge industries to make safer products. He applied the crashworthiness doctrine for the first time in aviation and obtained an injunction that grounded DC-10 aircraft worldwide due to a safety defect, and pursued strict liability product claims against firearms manufacturers and merchants. Turley has also represented hundreds of child abuse victims. In the internationally recognized landmark case Koss and the Catholic Diocese of Dallas, Turley secured a $120 million judgment for 11 victims of abuse by a priest.
We're talking about the need here for some very serious, deep changes in their openness with the laity and with their own other ministers about what's going on with respect to sexual abuse. Unless some serious changes are made, it will happen again.
The case not only empowered other victims to come forward, it also sent ripples through the Catholic Church, forcing the National Council of Catholic Bishops to create new standards to protect children from abusive priests. Turley's journey to success began in Cheyenne, Oklahoma, where he was raised by his mother, Virginia Taylor. He received his Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics and Philosophy from Oklahoma City University, and then his law degree from SMU in 1965, where he was a member of the school's award-winning moot court team. At SMU, Professor Joe McKnight instilled in Turley the belief that the common law could change with the needs of society, a driving force in his career. Turley is the author of 2 law books and a photography book, The Amazing Monarch, about the life of the monarch butterfly. Wendell and his wife Shirley have 2 children, Linda and Ron, and 2 grandchildren, Lacey and Ronald. SMU Dedman School of Law is pleased to recognize Ronald Wendell Turley with the 2016 Distinguished Alumni Award for Private Practice.
Well, it's been a long and a wonderful road. A great journey that couldn't have happened without 2 or 3 things I want to tell you about tonight. I would like to think that along the way we made some difference in people's lives, that we maybe brought a quality of improvement to some lives, and that maybe we made some society and our community a little bit safer. I would like to think those. But I know that none of that would have happened without, first of all, that week before law school was going to start in 1963, and I was supposed to go to Perkins School of Theology. But I finally came to recognize that I lacked an essential element that might get in my way. So I went up to the law school, and they let me in the back door and accepted me on the spur of the moment, no testing, nothing else, and I got started. And as I went along, I finally came to an opportunity to take a course that I'm sure no other student in our class really wanted to take. It was kind of a filler course called Legal History. But the course was taught by Professor McKnight, bless his heart. And in that course, he explained to me and to the class, and I love the course, by the way, probably the only one that did, but I loved it. He explained to me about the common law. Coming from Western Oklahoma, we didn't talk just every day about the common law. I never heard of the common law. I didn't know what it was until I got to law school. But Professor Knight taught us all that the common law was a living thing, that it could grow and it could change with the needs of society. And that really sparked something within me there at SMU, that I could be a part of making those changes through the common law. So that has been a driving force to this very day in my career. Always thinking that we can find something that needs fixing and something that's broken, and there is a way to address those issues and maybe to fix them. So SMU, thank you for that. I also want to thank, deeply thank, those great, bright, young lawyers and young staff members that have worked with me over the years. We didn't know better a lot of times on these, taking on some really great projects. We didn't know that we weren't supposed to succeed. And I'm sure if I'd ask a lawyer, an older lawyer, a mentoring lawyer, they probably would say, well, you stay away from that, Turley. You don't want to go there. But together we did. And these bright young lawyers, many of them who'd come out of SMU, and our bright young legal assistants and the rest of our staff really inspired me. And they led me as much as I led them. And many of them are here tonight, and boy, I thank you. I thank you all very, very much for helping make me look good. My family, over these years, as you trial lawyers in the room may know, families make a big sacrifice to a successful trial lawyer. And they have sacrificed over the years so much to make me look good. I love you for it, and I thank you very, very much. So, thanks to my colleagues who have, again, helped me along the way. Thanks to SMU, who gave me the opportunity to do a few of these things, and thanks to my family. I love every one of you.
Judge Katharina Haynes knew at 10 years old that she wanted to be a lawyer. From her early years in Florida to the Fifth Circuit, Judge Haynes has lived out her belief that nowhere else is justice as important as it is in law. Judge Haynes was born in Melbourne, Florida, to Peter Doubleday, a university professor of physics and oceanography from Holland, and Fifi Doubleday, a chemist who met Peter while representing Lebanon as an exchange student at an MIT summer program. Graduating from Satellite High School at just 16, college at 19, and law school at 22, Judge Haynes excelled academically. She received her undergraduate degree from Florida Institute of Technology, where she was a college cheerleader and first in her class. From there, Judge Haynes attended Emory University School of Law, where she graduated second in her class in 1986. Setting her sights on Texas, she joined the Dallas office of Thompson & Knight, where she met her husband, Craig Haynes. In 1988, Judge Haynes became an associate with Baker Botts and was later promoted to partner. Judge Haynes was encouraged to run for state district judge in 1998, and she served 2 terms in the 191st District Court in Dallas. Serving on the bench confirmed her belief that the courtroom is the great equalizer in our society, and, though not perfect, ours is the best system of justice. In 2007, on the recommendations of Texas Senators John Cornyn and Kay Bailey Hutchison, Haynes was nominated to the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit by President George W. Bush. After Senate confirmation by unanimous consent, Judge Haynes took her place on the court's bench in 2008. Judge Haynes has held several leadership roles in service to her profession and community. She is on the board of the Appellate Judges Education Institute, was the 2014 AJEI Summit Chair, and is the Chair-elect of the Appellate Judges Conference of the ABA Judicial Division. She has served on the Board of Directors and as volunteer instructor for the Vickery Meadow Learning Center and as a member of the Dallas Bar Board. Judge Haynes devotes significant time to the students, professors, and staff of SMU Law, from judging moot court and mock trial competitions to guest lecturing and even arranging for the Fifth Circuit to sit at SMU for oral argument. She has hired and mentored numerous SMU law clerks and also worked with SMU through the Appellate Judges Education Institute. Though she has had many mentors, from her law partners to her judicial colleagues, Judge Haynes' most trusted confidant and ardent supporter has been her husband of 27 years, Craig Haynes, an accomplished attorney in his own right. For her significant impact on the practice of law and her devotion to SMU, the SMU Dedman School of Law is proud to recognize the Honorable Katharina Haynes with the 2016 Honorary Alumna Award.
In my life, I have been a Satellite High Scorpion, a Florida Tech Panther, and an Emory Eagle. And now I'm proud to be an SMU Mustang. When I came to Dallas, I quickly realized that there were very few alumni from my law school here. And I was so thrilled when SMU just reached out and welcomed me in and made me part of the SMU community long before we sort of made it official today. And so I had the opportunity to participate in judging moot courts and mock trials and guest lecturing and that kind of thing. But really, the greatest collaboration I've had was in the Appellate Judges Education Institute. You all may not realize that 15 years ago, the state of appellate legal education in the nation faced a true crossroads and crisis. And along came SMU Dedman School of Law riding on its Mustang into town to save the day. And it is undoubtedly true that without SMU, we would not be anywhere close to where we are, which is the premier appellate legal education for judges and lawyers in the country. So thank you, Dean Collins and SMU, for that. Absolutely. Well, after the eloquence of my 4 fellow honorees, I can't add a lot to that, so I will close my remarks with a very brief poem. I stand before you on this wonderful night, looking out on Mustang Nation, full of brains and might. I'm honored and privileged to join Team SMU. From the bottom of my heart, I say a big thank you.
Thank you to all our alumni and friends for joining us for this wonderful evening. Tonight we have recognized 5 extraordinary leaders of our profession, each of whom has provided an enormous service to this community and to the law school. On behalf of SMU Dedman School of Law, I commend our winners and their world-changing accomplishments and outstanding achievements. Thank you all for joining us, and good night.